Hi guys, Mr. H here. Okay, so this is a very key part of algebra. You're starting to learn that many of the equation patterns and tables that we give you, you can just type in the calculator. Like if I know my equation like y equals 6x plus 3, I could type that in my calculator in the graph screen and get the table values, get the graph, and get answers very easily. Also, if I had a table of x and y values, like x is here and y is here, I could type in the entire table, do regression, get a graph of the whatever the graph is, and go from there. So there's lots of things you can do in the calculator. Now, what we're talking about today can be seen as one of the more challenging parts of algebra, because that is when they don't give you an equation, they give you a word problem. They give you a bunch of words, and you have to turn those words into your equation. So whereas a linear equation is always, usually always a form like this, and other equations we learn will have their own patterns, these equations often do not have a pattern. You just have to literally dissect it out of the words. This is basically where math class meets English class. Okay, so it takes a little extra effort at the beginning. It takes some practice, and it takes learning the vocabulary of what means what. Okay? And then as you practice these types of problems and do more and more of them, you will see patterns. They're not as immediate patterns as something like this, where we put the starting value here and the rate of change here. It's not that straightforward, but there are types of patterns to different types of word problems. The best way to get good at this, honestly, is just to practice lots of different types of problems, and we're going to do that today, all right? It will be a chore for a while, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and do half of this assignment. Half of it. I'm going to do probably most of the odds. Not all the odds, but almost all the odds. So that'll be almost half the assignment. First of all, to go through the notes together, let's go ahead and read through this. We're writing a function rule. So we're learning how to read a situation and come up with the equation, whatever function rule you have. It may match one of these, it may be something different. Okay, when writing function rules for verbal descriptions, that's basically word problems, you should look for key words, and these are key words that you want to add into your math vocabulary. A lot of these you already know. You've heard these year after year. Like, these are all words that suggest addition: plus, sum, more than, increased by, total, and in all. Like, how many do I have in all? If you see the words in all, that means you're adding, more than likely. Words that suggest subtraction: minus, difference, less than, decreased by, fewer than, subtracted by. Words that suggest multiplication: times, product, of. This is a really important one. You will see this a lot. Each, factors, and twice. Twice is a special case that literally means 2 times. You're multiplying it by 2. Okay, and I'm going to add a couple of that. Double is another one that means you're multiplying it by 2. And along with that, triple means you're multiplying it by 3. You could even get to more, like quadruple could mean multiplying it by 4, but that's less common. But that just gives you an idea. Words that suggest division: divided by, quotient. Quotient you don't get a lot in Algebra 1, but you still get it sometimes. That's why it's here. This is the main word you use probably in like elementary and middle school. Rate, ratio, half, and a third of, a fourth of, whatever. If I do a third of, I'm dividing it by 3. If I do a fourth of, I'm dividing it by 4. Now you might already think, well, wait a second, you said the word of means multiply. It does mean multiply. The word of means multiply. So dividing by 3 is the exact same thing as multiplying by 1/3 or times 1/3. If I do times 1/3, it's the same thing as dividing by 3. The way you calculate it, whether it's this way or this way, doesn't matter. You'll get the same number. Okay? If I said 1/3 of 9, 9 times 1/3 would give me 3. If I said, 9 divided by 3 with the same verbiage, I'm still getting the same answer of 3, right? Okay, let's do one example and then we'll start the homework together. Twice a number n increased by 4 equals m. So that is my little miniature word problem right there, okay? And there's some different things going on here. The first little part is twice a number n. The second thing is increased by 4. And the last one is equals m. I'm literally turning this into my equation. I already see right here equals m. I'm going to have equal sign m. Twice a number n. Well, I don't know what the number is, so that is my variable n. Twice times n is what that means. 2 times n. 2 times n. Increased by 4 means I'm adding 4, right? Here's increased right here. And here's twice right here. Twice means 2 times. So 2 times n plus 4 equals m. It seems pretty easy when I do it, but the challenge comes when you're doing them on your own, okay? It all falls into place when somebody's leading you by the hand, but the practice comes when you're doing it when no one's leading you, okay? But we're going to do several of these right now. So write a function rule that represents each sentence. Now actually this is already kind of long, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video, so I'm going to make a video for the notes, which I just did. I'm going to start a new video right here for the homework.